Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to study stepper in SwiftUI. So let's start by creating a new file and name it as stepper playground. So stepper is a SwiftUI control that performs increment and decrement actions. It also lets users select value from a range. So let's see how we can utilize stepper in SwiftUI. I will start with the VStack, and then if you type stepper, you can see we have different initializer with which we can create stepper. Now let's start with the simple version where it accepts a string for the title and a binding value for the counter or stepper, that the value that you want to use with the stepper. So let's just have a title in here that says maybe enter your age, and for the binding we need to create a state in here. Now let's just, maybe you can just name it age, that's fine, and give it initial value of 0, and the value that you have or the state that you need to provide to the stepper, it should conform to Stride protocol, and this int by default conforms. So we are going to use dollar, and then we can type age, and just like that we have a very simple stepper. So you can see we have this plus and minus buttons. Let's just give some padding to our VStack, and then we can have a text in here that says maybe you enter or something, and then we can display the value that the user has selected. So now if I press on plus, you can see our value is increasing, and if you press on minus, you can see it's decreasing. So this is what a simple stepper is, and if you want, you can actually use your own custom increment and decrement methods. So let's just create another stepper, and maybe we can say that custom increase slash decrease, and then you have to, after the title, you have to or we can just use the initializer version instead of this shortcut. So you can enter comma, and then you can type on increment, and you can see we have this completion, press enter, and then after this enter another comma, and then you can type on decrement, and you can see we have another completion, and then after this completion you can enter the remaining parenthesis, and now our stepper is completed. So we can now just enter on increment, and yeah, just like that we have our stepper. And if you want to do it maybe in a shortcut, you can just simply write a title for your stepper, and then enter curly braces, and then you can type on decrement and simply have another curly braces. So now this is the area where you are going to implement the increment function. So let's just say if I want to increment age maybe by 10 when I press on it, and on the decrement maybe I want to decrease it by 5 when the user press on the minus button. So now we have, just like that, we have a custom stepper, and now if I press on the plus button, we can see our value is increased by 10. So this is your own custom implementation, and you can just decrease it by 5 because right now the logic is doing it by 5. So this is the default version, and this is your own custom implementation. And yeah, and if you want, you can actually specify a range for the stepper as well. So let's just see how we can do that. So for this we first have to, let's just create a range in here maybe, and let's just maybe use a value from 1 to 10, and yeah, and then we can write our stepper. And I also wanted to let you know that you can change the formatting for this title. So You don't have to go with the default uh, version of this title. You can write your own modifier for the text or something. It accepts a view, so we can just use, right now we are going to use that version. So I'm going to write a stepper, and we are going to use this value, this version, where it accepts a value in the first parameter, and let's just provide it age. And then for the label, if you press enter, now you can write anything that conforms to a view. So maybe let's just have something like stepper with range, and then you can use modify it like maybe a font and increase it to maybe large title or something. So if you want, you can use this version to customize your stepper. And let's just maybe use a divider in here so that we have a separator. Yeah, and then yeah, and then we can provide our range. So we can enter comma, and if you type in, you can see this actually accept a closed range. And for this, we already have defined our range at the top from 1 to 10, and 10 is included in the range. So let's just type our range, and just like that, we have a stepper with a range. And now if you increment this, you can notice that you cannot go behind 10 because it's the maximum limit is 10. So, and if you similarly, if you go down, you cannot go behind 1. This is the smaller limit for the stepper. And we can actually specify the step value as well, like uh, how much increment should it use. Maybe if you want to step it by 2, so instead of stepping by 1, now it's going to step by 2. So you can see it's 3, it's 5, it's 7, it's 9. So yeah, and for the last value, it couldn't go to because right it was on 9, and then adding 2 would made it 11. So it just because it couldn't go behind 10, so it just limited itself to 10. So that's it for the stepper. It's a control that allows you to write custom action if you want, or provide the default implementation for increment and decrement actions. And it has some usage, like these are I just wrote in here for you. So if you have anything, let me know in the comment, and I will see you in the next video.